Hello? What's up, dude?
Hold on, let me get my mic here.
Oh, dude, you got a setup, my friend.
Dude, this is the old digs, man. I actually have the new studio at the gym. I'm about 75% moved into. I'm making my table right now.
You're making a table?
Well, I mean, I'm involved in making the table.
Are you?
But I mean, I'm going to help my dad do the welding and stuff on it tomorrow. And then Josh McMillan, hey, buddy, it's good to see you.
You can see me?
I can see you.
Because I certainly can't see anything.
Can you see me?
Oh, hey, there we go.
Nice.
Just look at that. Oh,
Hey, I like your background.
man. I made it just for this.
Yeah. Is that like a headboard? What is that?
You know, don't worry about it.
All right.
No, it's so we started doing these like update videos for it's like some challenges, like push-up challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Pyramid Fitness kickboxing page. So we needed a backdrop. So these are some leftover boards from a project for the kids' playroom.
Nice.
They're literally propped up there. So like, I don't know if you can see like that little thing right there.
Yeah.
Whatever, that is made to clip on to whatever that you screw like a light bulb in. And we're using it just to hold two boards together. Like if wind hit that wrong, it's falling.
Oh, man.
So if any person was looking at that, like if some code enforcement guy came in here, he'd be like, I'm chaining the doors. No one is.
Yeah. You guys are strict around there too. I remember when you built that wall at your last location, I think it was, you were telling me some of the stuff you had to go through.
I built a stupid wall at this place too. I don't know why. It seems like every time we move somewhere, I'm like, you know what? It works, but let's just change everything.
I've been there myself about 4 times. I think you've probably been a similar number.
Yeah, you've got a lot more experience than I do. Hey guys, if y'all want to, y'all can go work and not be sitting 5 feet away from me. That'd be wonderful. Love you all.
I'll take the kitchen.
Love you, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Joe loves you. Joe loves you.
I need to have Joe on the podcast, do an MMA episode.
You did?
I said I do. I need to hit him up. I was thinking about that earlier.
You know, I mean, if you want, I mean, he's not really, it's not really a big deal yet. You know?
See, you got to get him early. He could be famous in the future.
It's like you got to get him for the possibility of him becoming famous.
It's an investment. I'm not going to lie. But, man, he has been doing awesome. You guys have been doing, I think, a great job bringing him up. Do you guys do like an MMA class? Like I was thinking about this the other day because Joe is like, I've seen him fight. He does great. He's fighting a region where I feel like there's a lot of competition. Those V3 fights are legit. But like, how are you guys training for MMA up there?
So it's weird. Like we're not really an MMA school. Like I have had like 2. Like we don't have a lot of guys fighting or training for MMA. So it's really I've got a few guys that like are kind of interested, but they're like vaguely interested. Like if all the stars aligned, they might do it, but they just kind of enjoy training. But they don't necessarily enjoy training MMA. They enjoy Muay Thai and they enjoy Jiu-Jitsu. But I've got a lot of guys that are like serious competitors for Jiu-Jitsu. So that's kind of like the focus. I would say our gym's kind of focused on competitive, like getting out there a lot, competing a lot in Jiu-Jitsu and just like trying to get better. And then we have a pretty strong Muay Thai program, but not a big crossover. Not like most of the Muay Thai guys are Muay Thai guys. And like most of the Jiu-Jitsu people are like Jiu-Jitsu people. There's gonna be like 5 or 6 guys that like do both. It's kind of cool. You know, it's fun. It keeps it, you know, it keeps me like mentally there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Is in two groups of people that are super into their own individual thing, you know?
For sure. Yeah, that's kind of like where we're at, man. It's like I've had people fight, but it's on the new schedule, which we were about to start before we closed down. We were going to have a through the week MMA class after jiu-jitsu. And I got a few guys that are interested, but it's like not the predominant culture. And we've really tried to like stick with it too, and have had, have put energy into it over the years, but it's just like, it's kind of like it's declined in popularity, or I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know if, like, it's hard to, like, talk about without sounding kind of bad, I guess. I don't want it to sound bad, and I don't mean it in a bad way. But the jiu-jitsu and training, like jiu-jitsu specifically and Muay Thai specifically, attracts the people I really want at the gym. Attracts the right kind of people and helps really with the atmosphere of the gym, you know? And MMA just, I don't think always attracts the right atmosphere. I don't really know how to say that, but you know, like, I don't know how else to put that.
And Daniel O'Brien on the podcast the other day goes, he's had like 3 pro MMA fights, and he's a Pan American champion at brown belt and like legit jiu-jitsu guy. And he's like, dude, every time I fought MMA, I felt like I was on the Jerry Springer show.
Dude, it's like that, man. Because you get, you know, I don't know, you just get such high-strung people, and then you put them all like in this tiny back room for them to all mingle, and then there's fights or like yelling matches like in the background of the show. And then it's like, dude, I spend, you know, every night of the week at the gym with these guys. I kind of want to spend Saturday night at home with my kids. Like, if I'm going to get out on a Saturday night to go to a fight or something like that, it's a lot less enjoyable than it used to be. And I don't know if that's just kind of like because of the current stage in life I'm at or what, but like, I don't even get that excited about watching MMA for the most part. Like, I get excited about watching like certain fighters, but if it's just like, hey, do you want to just watch some random fights? I'm like, you know, I'd rather just do something else. You know? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because I'm into it. I can train it every day of my life and be happy, but I don't know. I'm more like, I didn't enjoy watching. I just don't like enjoy watching sports. Like, I watch it just enough to get like excited to do it. I don't get excited to watch more. I get excited to like go do it. And if I can't go do it, it's not. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way, man. Honestly, like that's why I was gonna bring it up. I know you have a big background, or you've had a lot of fights rather, in amateur, and I know you've produced a couple of guys. And I was with you that time you got in trouble for coaching too loudly at the MMA fights in Hot Springs.
I remember. Oh my gosh, that was crazy, right?
I've never seen anything like that. We're gonna need you to calm down on coaching your guy to not get injured, okay?
I was like, I don't even know how to do what you asked me to do. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't change anything. I'm pretty sure I just kept doing the same thing the whole time.
I remember looking at her. Her name, I believe that lady's name was Lydia, and I was like, "He's not allowed to coach his guy." Like, I just couldn't believe that she had said that.
That was so crazy. I remember that whole experience, and I think it's experiences like that have kind of like, just made me
for sure
less excited about MMA. And don't get me wrong, dude. I think like Joseph, I love Joseph. And if we had more guys like him that were like, man, I really want to do MMA, I'd be a lot more inclined to push it as far as like an aspect of the gym. But Joe's kind of like a special character, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of guys that are just like him. For one, I just love him as a brother. Like, he's a cool guy. You know what I mean? He's just a close friend of mine now at this point, so I'd do anything for him. But, you know, just just guys like that just don't come along every day. You get a lot of people that just, they want to fight because like, oh yeah, I just want to fight. I just want to get out there. I just want to fight. And I'm like, I'm not really interested to train someone who just wants to fight. You know, I'm interested in training somebody that's like, you know what, I just really want to see what the potential is. I just want to push it. I want to test myself. Like, I get that. That's cool. But to just want to fight, I just, you know, you got to have the right reasons, or else you're going to hurt training partners. You're not going to be fun to deal with when a training session goes wrong, or not even goes wrong. There's just a bad training session for you. You know what I mean? Like, you're off your game, and then and then when you're off your game, you're pissed off and you're not fun to be around. And man, the gym's not just for one person. It's not just for the guys that are supposed fighters. You know, I'm just as interested in helping. Like, we got a guy named Paul, who's awesome dude, 40. He's a professor. He's a college professor.
Sounds like a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. He's a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm legitimately just as passionate and interested in helping him get his jiu-jitsu better as I am helping this guy go win his next amateur fight. You know, and to a small degree, I get more excited about like Paul doing well in some instances, just because, you know, I see a guy who's married, he's got kids, he's working he's not an 18-year-old kid with nothing else to do training. You know what I mean? But it's important. He's making it a part of his life, and it's helping, you know, it's giving him an outlet, a physical outlet, a mental outlet. And that's fun for me, you know, and he's stupid good. I mean, he's got a crazy guard, you know what I mean? But, you know, guys like him, we got a dude named Neil, who's just a solid dude. And none of them are like, oh, I want to be world champions. They're both like in their 40s. Yeah, those are guys, I feel like I relate more with those guys.
Yeah, like one of our guys, so we got 2 black belts up to be promoted here pretty soon. And one of them's about to be 50 years old. He's been training with me for like almost 12 years. Like, he's trained with me since I first moved to Russellville, and he was one of my history professors when I was coming up. So it's been awesome to be a part of that dude's journey and to watch him go from 39 years old when he started training to 50, or 38, or however old he was. That's awesome to be a part of.
Man, it's cool. We just promoted our first black belt.
I saw that, man. Congrats. I thought about having him on the podcast just because, man, I love talking to that dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. You know, and I wasn't part of his journey from the beginning. You know, he started training with me purple belt. That's
when I met him at your gym, I believe, at the Jack Toffer seminar at your kind of that industrial type location you had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of one of those dudes. He's a funny guy. He's hilarious. And his jiu-jitsu, he's like the definition of serious hobbyist. You know what I mean? Like, he's not thinking about competition all the time. He's not, you know, but he's every single day pretty much here at the gym training and looking up like, hey man, how could I incorporate this in my game? How could I incorporate this in my game? You know, he's an engineer, so he travels for work. And every time, like, he did one with Chris Howder. He did a private lesson with him when he was out in California. So, I mean, like, jiu-jitsu is obviously super important, and he's been consistent his whole, I don't know how long he's been training, 12 years, maybe 13 years. Mm-hmm. He's been consistent that whole time training, but it's not always at the same place. So he started training with me at purple, and he cross-trained a lot up until brown, mid-brown, and then pretty much just with me from, you know, brown to black. So, but yeah, man, solid jiu-jitsu. He's got a ton of people that really, he's got a ton of influences throughout his training. I was a small part of it. But arguably I got to be part of the best, you know what I mean? I got to be one of the guys, you know, to wrap a black belt around somebody in jiu-jitsu. It's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if have I seen you since you got your first degree?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
It was that, October, I guess?
Yeah. Well, congrats.
You?
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
My jiu-jitsu is better. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the powers. They come with the promotion.
What?
The powers just come with the promotion every time.
Yeah, if I don't wear that belt, I'm just like, ugh.
Didn't you like use your brown belt to like tow someone one time or something? Can you tell me like a crazy story about that?
Dude, I did. So I was helping a friend move this antique car, trying to restore, and the straps I don't want to blame him. The straps we had, were not, let's just say, made to tow a car. And it was on a, not tow, but to strap down because it was on a trailer. And man, we got off the interstate. So we were coming up this off ramp, this off ramp, and we took left and we were going across the top of the interstate. So the interstate's going this way and it was kind of coming across the top. And then we hear this loud, like, boom, boom. We're like, what? And we look back and the straps had broken. And we put like eight tie downs on this thing. And it was so heavy. I mean, this is like I don't know what year. I think it's like a 50 something car. So it's like big, bulky, and heavy. And it just kind of rolled off the back of the trailer. So I stopped, and then it just kind of rolled and hit the back of the trailer. We were strapped out. We didn't have anything else. So I'm looking at my truck going like, what do I have that we could, pull this thing to where it's not on the street? Literally the only thing in my truck was my jiu-jitsu belt. So I was like, whatever, I mean, if it rips, I'll just buy another belt. I can't leave this car here in the middle of the street. So I wrapped it around the front and dude towed it fine. Did a lot better than those toe straps did.
That's funny, man.
Crazy, man. It was cool.
Never know when you'll need your jiu-jitsu belt. I choked somebody with mine like one of the last times I rolled in class.
Oh, for real? Just took it off.
It was off, and it was like my best friend started training with me like 2 years ago. He's like up for his blue belt. And so like, it's awesome getting to roll with him. Like we've known each other since forever. We played soccer when we were like 8 years old. So, that's the type of person I would choke with my belt. I wouldn't do it to everybody. I wouldn't do it to you.
I mean, you could.
I would expect you to do it to me.
But now I feel like we're not as good of friends. Maybe if we were better friends, you'd choke me with your belt.
No, see, it's like a hierarchy. You have to choke me with your belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I don't even think I've rolled with you in.
It's been a minute. It's been
forever.
Yeah, probably one of the last Little Rock times, but that's been probably 18 plus months. We need to make it happen for sure, dude. I'll tell you that man, that stuff you taught, those sweeps that you taught at that kickboxing camp last year, like that sauce and stuff for Thai boxing, I've gotten mileage out of that, man. I wasn't really good at the foot prop, even though it's like literally one of the first judo throws I ever learned.
Like Dayachi and stuff.
Yeah, I could just never like Sase or Sasai. That was the one that would always give me trouble. Knee wheel too a little bit, but man, how you kind of did that, it just worked. That entry worked for me, like that very first one you showed from collar and elbow.
Man, that's cool. That's awesome. It's fun to hear, like you're able to help or influence somebody. And
well, we started doing a bunch of clinch at the school for like 3 months right after that, so we reviewed it a lot. And it tied in, it was working. And it was nice to be doing foot props because we were doing like inside trips and stuff. Like I got, and you're welcome to it, but like Greg Nelson put out a clinch DVD a long time ago. And parts of it are on YouTube, but it's super good, dude. And he does like every judo throw in the book, but from like a Thai MMA perspective.
That's, what's weird is that I do more judo for the most part. I do more judo in my Muay Thai than I do jiu-jitsu. Like there's a couple judo throws I do in jiu-jitsu, like a Yokotoma, like I'll do that. I do a couple like Kouchi setups I do a honey goshi, which is like oddly a throw I do a lot. But for the most part, almost all my judo, except for obviously like all the foot sweeps. I do those in Muay Thai a lot from the clench. It's pretty fun though. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of failed foot sweeps go straight into knees really well. So
yes, agreed.
Like just, I'll go for a foot sweep. If it doesn't work, it turns into a knee setup, tip like 80% of the time. So, then it's just a matter of getting in on the inside. So
yeah, fun. Man, I really like and trying to catch an ouchi, and if they step out, following with that knee. I love that.
Yeah. So y'all have a new building and everything. Has anybody worked out in it yet?
Dude, we worked out for 2 weeks, and then we decided that we were going to we canceled classes like 2 days before they said in Arkansas, like, hey, gyms need to close down. And we've been doing the Zoom classes with the kids, great participation, like 27 students were on core Zoom the other night. So kickboxing, I've been having people show up and do Zooms. Like we've had as many as like 7 people, but like that's not like kickboxing class, usually like 15 to 20 people,
Right.
So, but we've been doing I've been doing a lot of podcasts. I've been doing a lot of YouTube videos for our YouTube. My dog's barking at the mailman, doing his job.
What's up?
Did you see that dog tail right here a second ago? I left my podcast door open. It's funny.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, we haven't done any Zoom classes. We're doing lots of Facebook Live classes.
I've been seeing you post a ton.
We're trying to stay super active, making sure everybody's getting, getting anything and everything they need, just ready for it to be over, ready to get back on the mats with some people. So I told someone the other day, this is the longest break I've had from jiu-jitsu in 14 years.
Yeah.
Longest break.
Really, like when I had my hernia repair, I say I had a break, like I was down there when I had staples in, like pointing at the noon class, like trying to show them something, it's like pretty much the same. Even when I've been injured, I've still been at the gym, engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what you've been training for 14 years? Like, how did you, like, I know you have a background, a ton of great things, but like, how did you get your start in martial arts? And like, what was the like progression of arts? Like, I know you've done Taekwondo, have a black belt in that, if I'm not mistaken, judo, jiu-jitsu, like MMA fights, kickboxing. How did all of this materialize for you?
I was a kid. I was like 4 years old, I guess. I have pictures, no memories, but I was in Taekwondo from like 4 to 6, maybe something like that. So 2 years. I did Taekwondo when I was really young. Maybe I was a little older than that. I don't know. Anyway, so I did Taekwondo when I was really young, and I guess I just kept that. Maybe it was like 4 to like 9 or something. I don't know. I didn't get my black belt in Taekwondo as a kid. I got to my red and black belt right before. And then when I was like 15, a friend of mine started doing Muay Thai. And I thought like I knew some stuff. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I'm a red black belt in Taekwondo. Like I can fight. Like, come on. And my buddy started doing Muay Thai. And I remember the very first Muay Thai class I ever went to. I don't remember why. Because I don't think I would do this intentionally, but I showed up in jeans. I think I was going to just watch, but I was wearing jeans, and Jonathan Border, it was his class, and he was like, well, come do it. And I was like, can I do it in jeans? He was like, yeah. So come out. So I trained, and I don't know if it was the first class. I don't think it was. I think it was maybe the second. They did a little sparring at the end, and I was like, cool. Dude, I got beat up so bad. Not like hey, they should send the police or something. But like, it showed me I didn't have, my confidence was very ill placed. Let me put it that way. Like I should not, and it wasn't, I just shouldn't have had the confidence I had having a black belt in Taekwondo, or not even having a red black belt in Taekwondo as a kid. I should have never thought like, oh yeah, I can fight with grown men.
Good.
I'm good. Maybe I'll lose, but not bad. No, dude, I got the snot beat out of me, man. Like point sparring, I don't know. That could be a conversation. I don't know. I'm not sure. Without hurting people's feelings, I'm not sure what I have opinions on some point sparring, but it was not found effective for me. And when I got hit for the first time by a grown man, I was like, ugh, this is not good. So I it intrigued me a lot. I was like, man, I can't suck this bad at something. And so I just kept going back, and I got into Muay Thai. I did Muay Thai for like, I think about 6 months before Jonathan had talked me into trying jiu-jitsu. So then I tried jiu-jitsu, and again, I just got annihilated by someone I thought shouldn't be able to do that. Because I'd played like, up to that point, I'd played like competitive baseball. So I was like a 15-year-old kid, but I just got torn up. And Jonathan Border is an incredible instructor, top tier, dude, for sure. Especially in the Memphis area, I'd say, by far, by far one of the best to this day. But so that was back forever ago. And then it's probably another 6 months after that. I was so into jiu-jitsu. I was so enamored by jiu-jitsu. I started doing judo because he taught judo too. So I started doing judo to try to get better. So I thought it would help me with my jiu-jitsu. So that was kind of like, I guess it was about a year process into the 3. And then I just trained all 3. And then after about a year of training, I was like, man, I'm not a fan of quitting anything. So, or at least not finishing, and getting so close to my black belt in Taekwondo, but not doing it, like kind of was like that's in the back of my head. So I called an old Taekwondo instructor I had and was like, hey man, what would it take? What do I need to do? What would it take? And he was up in Nashville at that point. He was like, well, man, you have to start training. I was like, okay. He was like, you need to relearn all your forms and stuff. So I went back and I started driving to Nashville twice a month, training with him, and here in Memphis, relearning all my forms. And I don't remember, maybe it took 8 months or so. And then I went and tested and got my black belt in Taekwondo. So yeah, along the way, I started doing Muay Thai fights and started doing judo tournaments and jiu-jitsu tournaments and got into MMA. And
dude, speaking of judo tournaments, let's look at this real quick.
Oh my gosh, you found that.
I just happened to find it because I was thinking about it when you were talking about your Taekwondo for some reason. Let's see. Can you see this?
Can I see it? Have you not seen that before?
I have, man. It gets worse every time, though.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, my good friend, Ethan Clapp.
Oh, man. I remember that. Didn't he train with you again? Didn't he come back and start training with you? Is that the same guy I'm thinking?
Not really. No, he came to the gym and like trained like once or twice. But dude, when I started jiu-jitsu, Ethan was a blue belt. And I want to call it like my jiu-jitsu rivalry, but it's not a rivalry when I never won. Like, it was like, I considered it success by not getting submitted by him. And dude, I didn't submit him until we were like brown belts, and he had already taken like a ton of time off. And then I caught my first sub, but from white, blue, purple, never caught him. And he's just, for one, he's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. By far one of the smartest dudes I ever met. He's one of those guys that like, in college tutored me in calculus. No joke, tutored me in calculus because I'm not great at it. And he's crazy intelligent, but at the same time is an incredible jiu-jitsu player. And he has not a complex game. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. It's not a complex game, but it's a very tight game. So it's like, it's hard. It was hard. Dude, we're talking, it's been years since I've rolled with him. It's probably been 4 or 5 years since I've rolled with him. So I want to say, if I remember right, it was like, dude, his game was, you couldn't get him out of it. And when you're in it, it was just, everything was so tight. He had a couple crazy good passes that like once he started them, you were just done. And, incredible top pressure. He's a really good judo black belt too.
Yeah.
I don't remember him doing any wrestling really, or being a great wrestler, but I know his judo was incredible. So yeah. Anyway, he was at that tournament and probably won his division. I don't know, but I caught that on film, and then thought we should all see it on YouTube. Yeah, I tore my brachialis muscle in 2 pieces.
Man, that's so brutal. You know, I want to say I met both of you guys, and you were probably, I don't even know what belt you were at the time because you weren't wearing a belt, but I was at a seminar that Border was teaching at, and I broke my collarbone on the mats just training judo that morning. Or you were there the night before or something, but I remember the seminar where I got my jiu-jitsu blue belt was the first time I met you, and y'all were talking about how you dislocated your elbow, and then I saw the video like a few years later or whatever. But yeah, that's brutal, dude.
It was not good.
Yeah. How long did it take you to recover from that?
It wasn't terrible. So it was weird. So like when I posted out on my arm, somehow the doctor was explaining it because like it didn't break any bone. So he said like when I posted, it's like the joint separated and then it folded, so it tore the muscle. And when my arm went back, it supposedly just went right back in the socket. I want to say it was like 6 weeks. 6 weeks in a cast. Or it wasn't like a cast. It was like I had to have my arm held up in a certain way.
Like rookie of the year?
No, it was like normal, like it was normally like in a sling or something. But it had to be like really high up. So I'll make sure you see like it had to be like this.
Yeah.
Be like up. They said like the muscle had to like be touching itself. Something about muscles not healing, they just scar back together. So
yeah.
I don't remember, it was a long time ago. It works now.
Yeah. How old were you? Were you like young, like teenage years? So you recovered better probably?
Oh yeah, I was teenage years. What's the date on that video?
Let's see. Hold on.
Because I honestly don't remember.
Let's see. It was uploaded 2010.
That's the year it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh man, that is yeah, that's nasty. I'm glad you recovered from that.
Yeah. It was fun though, you know? I mean, I wouldn't take, maybe that, but for the most part, you know, I haven't had any like serious injuries. That's probably the most serious injury I've ever had training. So yeah.
That's good, man. And man, I'm sure, I know you live a super healthy and active lifestyle. You own a CrossFit gym, so you're probably just keeping strong, man. Like I know I started in November. Until the fitness center closed. Like I was going to the fitness center every day. I would take 1 or 2 days a week off, just like whatever day I felt like I needed some recovery, and I would just like walk or something on those days. And started walking every day, started running. And dude, it made such a huge difference in how I felt, how I was recovering from rolling or anything. I was just like, I felt stronger. I wasn't like doing a lot of free weights, but doing a lot of machines and a lot of cardio. Yeah. And it was just like rowing. I started doing a ton of rowing.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just a big difference maker, man. Like I've been doing like lat pull downs and then just a bunch of different stuff for my shoulders. But dude, my lat back here was hurting so bad. And now it's not. Like I'm talking like I was like, I tore my labrum. I know it. But like every time I do this, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you did. So you've done Murph now, huh?
Dude, I did it with one of the guys from the gym. He's doing it every day for 30 days.
That's crazy, man.
Dude, it is. I'm gonna do one of the ones with 100 pull-ups once a week for 4 weeks. That's my goal.
Yeah, man, Murph every day. I'm rhabdo or something.
Yeah, I know. I was sore for. I started getting back to normal on day 4.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Murph three times. We do it. It's real big in CrossFit. Murph, Michael Murphy was a CrossFitter as well.
Hold on, you just cut out. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. You know the story of Murph, right?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Like I know that everybody does it on Memorial Day, and he was killed in combat, like by friendly fire.
No, no. Did you see the movie Lone Survivor?
Oh yeah.
He was one of those guys. Michael Murphy was.
Oh, okay.
In that mission. So, and the director of the CrossFit Games is a retired Navy SEAL.
Wow.
So, you know, a lot of CrossFit is really well recognized by a lot of military guys, especially a lot of SEALs and stuff. Like Josh Bridges is a real famous CrossFitter, and he was a SEAL. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. One of the coolest things CrossFit I think does is they have what they call hero WODs, and it's fallen police officers, or it could be firefighters, or people that did CrossFit that died in the line of duty in some way, and they'll take either a workout their favorite workout that they loved, or something they made up, or something like that, and they'll name that workout after that person. So Murph was named after Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who I don't know if that was I don't know if he made it up or that was one of his favorite workouts, but that's how it got done. And that's kind of like one of the original or most well-known hero WODs. So now if you just type in Google hero WOD, you'll see a list of ungodly workouts, like just horrendous workouts. And then there's workouts called the girls. So if you type the girls, because a lot of the worst workouts are named after ladies, probably because their tolerance levels are high enough to actually pull these workouts off. Like my wife is way more of a beast than I'll ever be when it comes to her pain tolerance. I've watched her go through childbirth twice now. It's much higher than mine.
Congrats on Oliver? Is that the newborn's name?
Yeah, Oliver.
Yeah. Congrats to you guys, man. That's awesome. How old is he now?
What's today, the 28th?
28.
28 days old.
All right. There you go. That's
born on the 1st, which was a fun text to our family. No, seriously. Was he born? We're like, yes. And they're like, whatever. Text me tomorrow when, No, seriously, like we're at the hospital right now. Like I'm having to send selfies because they all think I'm like April Fool's in them of us at the hospital. But
that's hilarious. Oh man, I saw a bunch of parents on April Fool's Day pranking their kids, being like, "All right, get up, we're going to school. We're going back to school today."
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Hilarious.
My kids are, you know, my daughter's like 19 months now. She is a mess. So it's fun. It's fun because she's not quite talking yet, which is frustrating for her. And he's 28 days old. So a little needy still physically, like having to eat every few hours. So life at home it's amazing. It's fun. I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Yeah.
But I don't sleep much.
Yeah. Oh, I bet, man. I mean, I can only imagine. So.
And my wife's the same. So, if it wasn't for her, I'd be struggling big time. But so tell me what you guys, so you started, or you have more workouts like Murph you're planning. Did you text me somebody you're trying to do Annie next?
I'm going to do Angie this week, and I think I'm going to do Cindy next week is my plan.
Dude. Cindy, tell me if I get this wrong. Is it a 30-minute EMOM?
Oh, I can't remember what the time is, but I think the reps are 30, 20, 10 on push-ups, pull-ups.
Oh, it's
like the Murph.
Yeah, it's 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats.
Yes.
And there's 2 versions. There's a 20-minute AMRAP of that, and then there's a 30-minute EMOM of that. I don't remember. One's Cindy, one's something. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I do, man. Those girl workouts are they're insane. Back when I taught boot camp, periodically I would throw one in, and like Angie was one of my favorite ones to do, just because it was like any of the ones like body weight exercise, and I would even throw in like 100 jumping jacks or like something else like that, and because we could do it in like a boot camp time period, and
yeah,
it was good. Well, man, so what all, like, I know that you talked about your jiu-jitsu competition, like as a culture in your school, but like you personally, like, what is all your background in competition, and how does that kind of cross over to your students? I know you still compete. I know your students compete, but you've competed like the whole time I've known you. We just saw you breaking your elbow in a competition. So.
Yeah. So competition for jiu-jitsu.
Well, just across the board, man. Cause like when you start getting into like your whole career of like, yeah, I've had like 20 MMA fights and, didn't lose, but like one of them to decision, or, I know you've got like an amazing, you've done IKF. I don't think you've done any boxing, but you compete in judo, you compete in jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu kind of being like the thing that's going on the most right now.
Yeah. I guess I've always done jiu-jitsu, and I mean, what I should say is I've always done jiu-jitsu competitions. And I guess it started, my first competition was the ones that Dream put on in Little Rock. Those are the only jiu-jitsu competitions like I knew about or went to.
Funny story, dude. Has Cora told you this? Like one time we compete, like it is blue belts. We competed against each other in one of those. Yeah. And you paper cutter choked me off of a double underpass. Anyway, but I remember you were over there like doing uchikomis real fast, and Cora was like worried about it. She was like, that guy, his judo, it looks really good. You're going against him? And I was like, yeah, I trained judo too. Geez. But I like at the time, like I had like no judo experience and like broke my collarbone the only time I went to a seminar.
That's fun.
It was, man. She brings it up from time to time about, she just remembers you doing those loads real fast.
Yeah. Probably with Ethan, most likely.
I think it was that. I mean, I remember being around him a time or two back then. So,
yeah. I mean, that was our takedowns. Like, Jonathan Borders need on in judo. So like, all of our takedowns were judo, and I don't remember John teaching a lot of single and double legs. And maybe he did. I just have a bad memory. But the vast majority of our takedowns were all, I mean, he was a judo guy, so it made sense that we would, kind of fall that way. And I'm real grateful of it now. I actually work currently a lot on my wrestling. But yeah, man, I did a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments kind of coming up. And then outside of like the local ones in Arkansas, then I would go to, Naga was the big thing for a while.
It was.
Let me say it was the only other thing, and I knew about the IBJJF, but man, they didn't come anywhere even close to Memphis for forever. And they still don't. Like the closest they come to Memphis now is like, they just started coming to Nashville. But that's in the past 2-3 years, so by the time they started coming close, I was a black belt already. So, the first IBJJF tournament I did was 3 weeks after I got my purple belt. I went to Europeans and fought in the European Open in Portugal. That was my first ever IBJJF tournament. And it was crazy. I lost to a Polish guy on an advantage in the last 10 seconds. First round, I was out.
Man, bummer.
I remember being really upset about it. So I don't even know how my division happened. But I do remember I met Ryan Hall. He fought that weekend. I remember I met Ryan Hall that weekend. And I was like geeking out because I was all about the triangle. I was all about, the deep half. And I was like, oh, so I got my picture with him. And he was like, man, if you're ever in DC, come train. And I still remember that to this day, that I got invited to train. I'm sure that was his, I'm sure that's like his normal response to most people is like, yeah, man, if you're ever in DC, come by. But, I held on. He was a big deal. He still is a big deal, I guess. And he's doing well in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
All about that. I fought, I did a bunch of judo. I think I never was like super successful in judo. Like I took second at the Tennessee State tournament once. That's probably the best I've ever done. I won the Fraser Judo tournament, which is just a real local Memphis tournament. I was real proud about it. I had to beat a guy that was really good. But, all in all, like my judo is very and Muay Thai, I fought in IKF four times. I won it in 2008. And in 2009, do you know who Joseph Valtellini is?
Canadian guy.
Canadian guy. He was the 170 champ in Glory and is now a commentator for Glory. But he had I think 16, 17 pro fights. Most of them were in Glory. Just killed it. Anyway, I fought him in 2009. I won my first 2 fights on Saturday, and then I fought him first round on Sunday, and I lost it. That's probably the best guy I've ever fought. And and he won it that year. So I think I was ranked number 3 for 3 years because I kept losing in the semifinals. And I always lost to the world champion that year every time. So I was ranked number 3 for a little while. And then
Did you always do Thai rules when you fought?
Yeah. I always had this weird stick because I trained Muay Thai and just always thought it was the most legit of all of them. And was like, I want to win the Thai rules one. Not I don't necessarily think that to be true, but as far as what I had trained in, I wanted to win in what I had trained in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I trained Muay Thai. I wanted to test my skills with the clinch, and you can't do that in American rules or international rules. There's no clinching. So I really wanted to win in the realm of what I've been doing. Plus it translated better to MMA. And I lost my very first MMA fight. I fought on Dring's card. I was 17 years old. I lost my first MMA fight. I lost to a decision. And then I think I had 4 or 5. I think I had 5 first round finishes, and then two second round finishes and 1 third round finish. I finished. That was fun. Kind of weird talking about yourself.
I know, man. I was just telling somebody that the other day. I was like, I want to hear about other people. I don't want to talk about me. Like it is kind of weird, like listing your accomplishments. That's when it's weird for me.
Yeah, it's like I'm proud of what I've done, but I don't think it's anything special. Does that make sense? Like I am proud that like I've worked hard and I've done some things, but I don't think I deserve any sort of admiration for it. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like there's so many people out there that have done so much more than I've could think of. But anyway, I fought in Muay Thai again recently. 2 years ago. 2009. 2008. I won IKF in 2008. So in 2018, I was taking 2 guys to fight, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna fight again. That's my 10-year anniversary. Why not? Yeah, why not? So I signed up. I trained for like a month, sort of. And I sort of trained for like a month and was just kind of going off of, I've been doing it for forever, and, you know, experience would kick in. And I fought the Pan American Muay Thai champion. First round. We had a really good fight. I lost to a split decision.
Nice.
He was the 2018 Pan American Muay Thai champion. And that was my first. I was like, man, I couldn't get like a warm-up fight. I couldn't get like
a bye, like
maybe somebody who hadn't had 20 fights. You know, I don't know. But that was fun. That's the most recent like Muay Thai thing I've done. And then jiu-jitsu, man, it's been fun. You know, I've done at black belt, I've got to compete quite a bit. I travel a lot to compete. And that's been fun. Like, you know, I've competed against a lot of local guys, and which is always cool to compete with guys like you've trained with, and, you know, like that's fun. And I got to fight Lucas Barbosa. That was fun. Yeah, sort of fun. I fought Johnny Grippo, which was cool. At brown belt, I fought Johnny Tama. I fought, dude, a lot of big. I got to fight guys that have become pretty big names, and, you know, and I haven't been successful with those dudes in competition, but it's cool experiences, you know. It's fun to get out there and test yourself with like the best in the world, you know that like, hey, I know I'm going against somebody who is, you know, arguably one of the best in the world at this one thing, and, you know, that's fun. I don't really feel like I've had a super successful career at black belt yet. I don't feel like I've done anything memorable at black belt yet. I've had some good matches that have gone my way, which was fun, but I don't know. I'm still working on it.
How much longer are you in the adult division for?
I'm eligible for the Masters next year.
Okay.
So I'm 29, and you can compete in Masters 1 the year you turn 30. Well, I turned 30 in January, so it's like, you know, I'll essentially be 30 by the time as Masters. But I don't know how long, because you can compete as an adult forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to stop competing as an adult yet at 30. I might wait. I might give myself another few years. We have 3 black belts at the gym right now. Well, 4, 3 other than me.
Who all's training with you right now?
Mark and Jeremy Miller.
Dude, I've had a couple of matches against Mark, and then I got to roll with him when you remember when you were working at the Croc and Chris Carlino and I came down. He was over at Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. Then I got to train with him, but friends with him on Facebook. Super nice dude.
Oh, dude, Mark and Jeremy are incredible guys. Incredibly nice. Mark, a little more so than Jeremy, just because Mark's schedule allows him to train a little bit more. But we've become good buddies. You know, he's just a great guy. And Jeremy's an awesome dude too. It's just his schedule is crazy. He's a nurse, so he doesn't get to train quite as much. But man, both those guys have helped my jiu-jitsu a ton. Just super solid training partners, you know, and guys that will really capitalize on your mistakes, which, you know, like, you know, if you're just rolling with like a purple belt, it's kind of like, you can kind of do what you want, make a mistake, recover, not a big deal. But having other high level black belts is pretty awesome. I mean, like don't get me wrong. Like, I have a couple purple belts here that might be like, come on, dude. I mean, what's your average purple belt? You know what I mean? Now your high level, like competitive purple belts, we've got like a couple of like high level, like real competitive purple belts. Like you can't sleep on them. You know what I mean? But it's still not the same as having another black belt that's going to make you pay if you're.
Man, you know, I had Alan on, which I know you guys trained together a lot over the years, but Alan was on, and we hit a point. The episode's coming out in a few days, so you just have to watch it. It's like an hour long or something. But he was like, I've submitted Eric Ingram 6 times, and here are the submissions in the order that they occurred. And he's like, this many of them were this many of them was that, one of them was this. Like he just rattled it off, and I was losing it. It was hilarious.
Oh man, he is an incredible dude. That guy is brilliant too.
He is.
Dude who's just like, who's super cerebral. Like, man, he's just, for one, he's super intelligent. And, you know, I think he just remembers things like, you know, because most of his game, he learned himself, you know, and I've never met someone who's gotten that good kind of on their own, you know.
Yeah. I was joking with him about his DVD collection.
Oh, really?
I remember him posting a photo of like his jiu-jitsu DVDs, and I was just like, I had a lot of them too, and I have a lot of digital jiu-jitsu, you know, and I was just like, dang, dude, you have like every instructional ever made. And he's like, you should see my book collection or something like that.
Yeah. See, I have a hard time like getting into DVD like tutorials and stuff. Like, I'm really good at a couple of. No, I'm good. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm really good at like doing jiu-jitsu and like in person, someone explaining and like I can do it. But like if I'm not on the mat, like just sitting at a TV screen and like watching it and processing it, it's kind of like, I don't know. I get bored really quick. I start thinking about butterfly rainbow, you know, whatever, you know.
It's a passive activity. Like I've talked with this about with like Jeff Woods, that guy who's mentioned we're going to promote to black belt, and we're kind of the same way in that I got to be doing something else. Like what we've been doing is like recently we've been working on those 10th planet warm-ups, so we'll have like the video accessible right there for quick reference, but we're drilling it, or I'm taking notes while I'm watching something. Like maybe I'm trying to watch an instructional for like the Danaher stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. But still, man, just straight watching a video is super passive for me.
Yeah, I have to be. We talked about getting like a TV next to the mats. But you know what I found I've gotten the best at is I've been trying to host a lot of seminars. I've been trying. It's tough, but dude, we just had Dom Bell in. Do you know who he is?
I've heard the name, and I saw you had him in, but I haven't followed his competition or anything.
So he is a recent black belt. He's an Atos guy. He's one of the instructors at Atos HQ with so he trains directly under Andre Galval. And dude, brown belt, Incredible. I want to say he was a brown belt world champion, gi and no gi. Incredible brown belt resume. He's a full-time competitor. And I got to do a private with him when I was out in California. And his ability to relay information was super good. And you don't always get that. Like, just because someone's a high-level jiu-jitsu player does not mean they're a high-level, or that they even care that much, So it's super cool because for one, he was just a nice dude, which is important because, they're going to come and probably sleep in my house. So, there's always that level of, you got to gauge the weirdness of them. So he seemed super cool, and he was a great communicator and seemed to truly care that I got the technique. You know what I mean? So out of like the hour or something private, we probably so I had him in for a seminar, and it was awesome, dude. I mean, and he showed me his game, which was cool. So we got to drill his game with him, and he's one of the best guys at single leg X. And that's like his game. It made my single leg X so much stronger, which was cool. So needless to say, I got to training with Alan. I got to go up to a gym he trains at a lot and get to train with Mike. And I got to roll with Mikey, which was humbling to say the least. I mean, that dude is crazy, but he gave me really good advice. I asked him about a seminar, and he said, man, I wouldn't be a good seminar for you. I was like, what are you talking about? Dude, you're arguably one of the best grapplers of all time right now. I mean, one of the greatest American grapplers for sure, the most accomplished American grappler as far as IBJJF is concerned, right? I mean, he's the first American 3-time world champion in a row. His sister just won Black Belt Worlds last year, and he won it. He's won it at 2 weight classes now, beat Bruno Malfacini, finished his last guy at Worlds this last year. He submitted his last guy, and I want to say like the first 30 seconds of the match. The finals match at Black Belt submitted the guy in 30 seconds. Like, dude, just another level good. I remember looking at, anyway, he told me, he said, man, I wouldn't be a good seminar for you. I said, what do you mean? He was like, well, we play such different games. It would be hard for me. He said it would be hard for you to adapt my game to your game. He said, you need to have guys in that play similar styles to you that can help you get better. And I was like, that's a good idea. So we've started looking at and trying to have seminars with guys that are really good at specific areas that we want our gym to get better at, if that makes sense.
For sure. For sure.
And trying to have guys in for 3 or 4 days instead of just like, hey, he's here for 30 hours. We're doing a seminar. It's 3 hours. If you want a private, you can, and they're out. But trying to get some like actual like training sessions. That's kind of where we've been at as far as like seminars, getting better.
Yeah, man. When I had O'Brien on the podcast, he was talking about when they had Hickson in for a seminar, like a long time ago, but his instructor hosted him at his house, and he like gave him biscuits and gravy for the first time. Like I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, he never had biscuits and gravy. I'm sure you get it on like, I mean, I've been around and like Jack and people are like, yo, I've heard about Memphis barbecue my whole life. Take me there. Yeah, but it was funny, man. Go watch that episode if you get a minute. And, Daniel was a Pan American champ at Brown. He's done like ADCC trials and EBI. He's the guy. Do you remember a dude that did a jiu-jitsu tournament blindfolded?
Was that him?
That was him.
Wow.
Yeah, he also is famous.
I don't think I ever saw that, though.
He's famous for hitting a ball and chain armbar in competition.
What are you famous for?
Yeah, but I want to say in that first blindfolded match, he submitted a dude that was a world champion, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the guy's good looking, but he's not super well known because he's from like Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, and what's ironic, do you know who Brandon McCatherine is? He like commentates the EBIs. He did a seminar at my gym, one of the best seminars I've gone to, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
really.
Block kind of guy.
What's that?
You a 10th Planet guy?
Yeah, he's an Eddie Bravo black belt. But they're like 20 miles apart from each other in Alabama. Brandon and Daniel are. So, like, they train together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Brandon McCatherine, it's spelled McCagrin, but he says it's McCatherine. Super good dude. He's coming on the podcast Friday.
He gets to choose. It's his name.
Yeah.
He can say it wrong.
You kind of froze up, dude. You still there? You're back.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's cool. That's really cool, man. The jiu-jitsu game is gotten stupid. Like, you know, how good people are and how good they've gotten at such a young age. You know, it's incredible. I, for the first time, kind of feel old.
Yeah, dude, you've always been, which I guess I'm only like 4 or 5 years older than you, but like back when we were like blue belts, I'm like, this dude's only blah, blah, blah years old. Like at the time, because I was like 25 and you were like 20 or something. I'm just like, I can't believe this shit.
Yeah, I was like, man, you know, I got my black belt when I was 25. And I was like, you know, I thought I was a really young black belt, but it's like, dude, now I'm competing with these kids that are like 23 years old, 22, 23, 24. And it's just like, oh my God, you know, they're so good, so incredibly good. And, you know, their grips are just, and their intensity is just, you know, it's another level. So it's been fun trying to get up to that level. And, you know, we've developed pretty good relationships with the other gyms in town. So there's a lot more. The jiu-jitsu scene in Memphis has been awkward for a long time. Just because there's a lot of different people that have all had previous relationships that didn't go well, you know? And luckily I haven't been part of any of that, but there's a lot of that. So it's like, you can talk to this person and you can talk to this person. You just can't talk to them at the same time. They are not on speaking terms, you know what I mean? Or whatever. It's very dynamic. It's very interesting, but there's been a lot more cross training going on. So like the guys over at Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, like Stephen Combs, you know, cross train with those guys a lot now, which never happened in the past. And, you know, that's helped a lot. Stephen Combs is an awesome dude. He's helped my jiu-jitsu. I hope I've had positive inputs on his game. He'd be a fun dude for you to talk to if you ever want to. He's an incredible martial artist and dude, high level, probably the highest level judo guy we have in the city.
Yeah. That's dude, I'll tell you, man, like I hit Nate up the other day, and if you don't mind, do me a favor, because like, dude, I'm teaching from home right now. I'm not going to the gym, so I've been doing a ton of podcasts, and I'm trying to do a bunch of martial arts and jiu-jitsu themed one. Just like we're emailing them to like the playlist of my podcast and stuff that we're doing the martial arts ones to our members and just things like that. So I'm trying to push a little extra content for them, because like we're not doing as much for the adults right now. But send me a list of anybody that you would remotely, if you would listen to them on the podcast, I will hit them up and I will ask you if you have any questions that you want me to bring up.
Yeah. Stephen Combs, I'd listen to, man, for sure. You know, and even, you know, honestly, any of the black belts here, you know, Jeremy or Mark, their jiu-jitsu knowledge is so deep, and their jiu-jitsu knowledge of like the game itself and like the players in the game is really, really good. So that's fun.
I think it was Jeremy that did this, but like hit this crazy lasso sweep where he like put his foot on the dude's face to sweep him. It was wild. And I want to say somebody made it into one of those Thug Life videos, like afterwards the shades came down.
Jeremy's a really, Mark's a fun role and Jeremy's fun, but they're fun in different ways. Like where Mark, it's very strategic, like he plays a very specific game and I have to figure out how to get around that. So it's fun, but it's more mental power. With Jeremy, it's way more explosive and it's way more dynamic. So it could kind of go anywhere. Where Mark's, sometimes it's a little more static, like we're, fighting little grips here and there, trying to inch our way through. But with Jeremy, it's like, dude, it's just a ball. And man, we're just kind of getting after it all over the place. So it's fun, man. I think the cool thing about the gym here is that we have so many people with so many different styles. Like there's not like one style that kind of dominates the gym. It's really cool. It's really cool. And now that we have guys that are high level at all those different styles of the same game, like you never before. So that's fun.
And kind of like, if you don't mind, like talk about like the diversity of your business and how it plays into this. Cause I know like you got a diverse team, like we're talking martial arts and jiu-jitsu, whether it's your Thai boxing class or your jiu-jitsu class or just like martial arts in general. But you also have a CrossFit box. You've got fitness kickboxing. You mentioned a kids room. And I mean, you've got a very diverse business, but like how do you, the CrossFit box has to be a major benefit for people like Joe and people who are like wanting to stay strong, because I mean, I honestly believe if you can compete at the level you guys are competing at, you got to do that too. So like, how's your business work and how does that, like, is it a major benefit having the box? Do you get a lot of cross training with the martial arts guys in the box?
So it's interesting. We have cross training between the CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu is pretty much just the competitors for the most part. A lot of our competitors do both. But like you said, it's sort of required to really compete at that high level to have good strength and conditioning. And nothing really does that like CrossFit. And I kind of made a gym that was around the things that I did already. Like our gym is made up because those are the things that like I'm into. And if I wasn't into them, we probably wouldn't have them, So like, I'm personally like really into CrossFit. Like it's what I do to stay in shape myself. I love it. I love the methodology, you know what I mean? So just I agree with the training platform. I think it works. I think it's great. So because of that, it's helped me personally a ton. So it was like, hey, how do we start a CrossFit gym to help people, bridge that gap? But it's also fun. I mean, we have a bunch of people that just do CrossFit. And that's fun because, you're seeing people change their lives through fitness, which is always really, really cool. Seeing people get their first pull-up, like that's a big deal. We have a couple ladies that, they got their very first pull-up, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like,
do you start them off on bands or anything to help them bridge that gap?
Yeah. So for like let's say the pull-up itself, like bands are awesome and we do bands. We try to really limit the amount of band work we do because people can get where they rely on bands too much. They can get kind of stuck on it. So it's like, sometimes people will start with a band and they'll never graduate out of a band. So that's why we really try to minimize, but we do lots of like things that simulate push-ups. Pull-ups. We'll do lots of like jumping pull-ups. We'll do negative pull-ups. We'll do pull-ups from your knees on a barbell, with a rack barbell at like squat height, so any sort of good lat engagement with a good pull, we'll do. I think negative pull-ups are one of the best benefits to getting your first strict pull-up. But then once you get get a strict pull-up, I think the best thing is to continue in strict pull-ups. So, once you can do one, then just start adding rest to where you can do, and you'll just do lots of singles till you can get your first double. And, so like the pull-up progression, the idea is to eventually be able to do a muscle up, right? A muscle up on a barbell and a muscle up on a ring. So it's like you start with strict pull-ups till, you start with banded / negative pull-ups, things like that to just work the motion of the pull-up. And then we'll graduate you to, okay, now let's try to get to 10 strict pull-ups. And once you can get to 10 strict pull-ups, you'll learn how to do a kipping pull-up, which is now you're learning how, because until you get to 10, your shoulders aren't necessarily developed enough to rock in this external rotation. And to be able to go from external to internal, that rotation in your shoulders, they need to be really strong. So until you can get to about 10 strict, but once you get to about 10 strict pull-ups, we'll start working that motion. So you can get into like a kipping pull-up. And then you'll go from like that kipping pull-up to like a butterfly pull-up where you're really learning like the movement, which is going to get you to a chest to bar pull-up, which is going to get you to a muscle up. So everything's just a progression. So the end goal is, hey, how do I go from I'm reaching up, grabbing onto this barbell to now I'm on top of the bar with it all the way down to my hips. So, and the founder of CrossFit was a gymnast. So that's kind of why all those progressions are there. He did the rings. Greg Glassman was. So, that's typically the progress from pull up to muscle up.
Man, and like I was saying, like just developing those same muscles in my shoulder, like I got to get back into doing like overhead squats for that external rotation you're talking about. And like I was stretching the other day after recovering from those pulls, like taking I was actually using my kayak paddle, but I was like, oh man, just stretching those bicep tie-ins.
Foam rolling is awesome. Sometimes I'll take a foam roller and I'll put it right below my lats on my upper back. And then, so I'm on my back laying with that foam roller, kind of going like from here to here, kind of like long ways. Mm-hmm. And I'll lift my hips up off the ground and then I'll extend back and try to touch my knuckles to the floor.
I should try that.
You're getting a lot of, it really helps to like open like your upper thoracic. So then you just work on bringing your hands closer and closer together. And just getting in that position and hanging out for like 2 or 3 minutes. And there's some really awesome like mobility WODs and mobility apps that you should totally look into if you haven't seen them already. That just have tons of great stretches to help open you up, especially in a region like this where we're sitting like this so much. Mm-hmm. Learning how to like lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, and learning how to open your arms up. Because most people don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Like that's not a common movement until you need to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you've never done it.
I like doing it with my jiu-jitsu belt. Like just stretch my jiu-jitsu belt out. Like I've done that in warm-ups before. And like, honestly, the more pull-ups I'm doing, like that's like a requisite. Like one of the reasons I stopped doing that was because I wasn't doing pull-ups very much for the last 18 months or so.
I think pull-ups, push-ups, there's a thing called scapula push-ups, which are really, really good. That have helped me out in this upper area a ton. They've helped with my neck, helped with a lot of nerve pain. But anyway, CrossFit kind of led me into all of that. And answered a lot of strength and conditioning questions. And then the fitness kickboxing, man, I just love kickboxing. And fitness kickboxing is just a way to, people that are too intimidated by CrossFit or they just really want to punch and kick back. It's very stress relieving. So to be part of that and, just develop the relationships we have with members in the gym, like it just means the world to us. Like all of our best friends are members from the gym now. So, it's fun. We've had 2 kids while we were here at the gym, and not like physically here, but but like the number of people from the gym that have reached out and given us diapers or gave us a meal or, just reached out and said, hey, congratulations if you need anything. Like, man, we wouldn't give it up for anything, dude. It's awesome. We love it. But yeah, we've got the CrossFit, fitness, kickboxing, and Jitsu and Muay Thai. I kind of look at it like we've got martial arts, CrossFit, fitness, kickboxing.
It's like that, like an upside down pyramid you just said there, guy.
Ooh,
Hey, I noticed the boxes in the pyramid structure earlier.
You know what? I'm glad. Did you see our CrossFit video
I didn't watch it. I just I saw the boxes and I was like, man, those boxes look cool. I should stack our boxes, but I only have 4.
Well, and your name's Forza, so
yeah, right. There you go.
if you named it Pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, we're in our 4th location, so I'm trying to work like a Forza, like with a 4 in there, but most of the people I've talked to are like,
let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah, most of the people I've talked to are like, that's stupid, bro. Okay. It's 4.
I would never use language that strong.
Oh man.
That's cool, man. Well, I'd love to see you when this is all over with.
For sure, dude. We'll set something up.
Session together.
Yeah, and I think there's been some talk of maybe doing another kickboxing camp at our place. I don't know when, but I know we're gonna have a grand opening. Maybe we can do something with that. But man, we'll definitely have to stay in touch, bro. It's been great catching up with you.
Yeah, man. You too. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Hope.
All right, man. Yeah.
We'll find entertainment out of listening to me talk. I don't know why they would, but
they will. They will. I'll share it up. It'll get a lot of views, man. Thanks again for coming on, bro. And tell Hannah and everybody Cora and I said hello, and you guys stay safe and all that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You too.
All right, bro.